G'day. 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 G'day.
Tiwi ha. Pegwi jam. Pegwi cheeky.
Hello? Hello?
Happy 28 years. It was so lovely to meet you, Pegwi Heart. Next year again? Next year again. Welcome back, Peg.
Hi. I'm back. Let's do a different song. Let's do some chill BGM stuff. How's this? What is this? This should be okay, I reckon. Non-lyric stuff. Instrumental, I think they call it. Yeah. Oh. Hello. Hello, guys. Hello, hello. I'm back. Back in Australia, where it's nice and cold. Ugh. First up, thank you everyone for the resubs. Sheepy, Tio, Tipox, Jappy, of course. So welcome in Fede and welcome in Bart. Make sure to stay hydrated. I'm staying hydrated with some water and some coffee as usual. But you guys in Europe, make sure you guys are drinking water because you guys have a significant heat wave. Well, I mean, your heat wave is like my regular Aussie summer. I want to go back just for the heat. It has been a while indeed, Tio. It took you ages to come back. It's even hotter than at Dokomi now. Slay in my chat. Slay with just the jumpy name with the badge. Ooh. Cute. It's not that warm. Side-eye. 90% humidity. That is, yeah. So you guys, when I was over there, like, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about some Dokomi and some of my Germany trip and the culture differences and a few things and stuff, I guess. I'm going to talk about my flights and stuff over there. I think quite a few of you guys have already heard about it since I actually saw a lot of you guys for the first time at Dokomi, which is really cool. You're in front of a fan, you don't feel the warm. Ah, nice, yeah. Yeah, some of you guys, I guess, probably have either AC or a strong fan. But yeah, a lot of you guys probably don't have AC. Yeah. I mean, like, what? You guys have like 30-degree weather, something like that? Even more than that, because I think it was like 30 degrees on 2 of the days on over Dokomi. And I think the Sunday was not much cooler, but I think Sunday was like perfect weather for Dokomi. But the Friday and the Saturday were like kind of hot and a little bit unbearable. Hold up in the basement. 34 to 36, yeah. It's a little too warm. Right now I have 7 degrees. I'm in the single digits early morning and like, you know, late evening. I get single digit weather. It's it's fantastic. Not really. But yeah, you guys have like kind of wet heat essentially, you know, very humid. So like it feels even more unbearable kind of thing. Like, you know, you go on the shade and it's good, but it's still, you know, a little ugh. Whereas in Australia we have generally dry heat, so it's you know, you can cool down, feel a lot better, much quicker. 32 for you. Manageable in your house currently. Yeah, I guess that's one thing. Like, if you like, I noticed that, you know, German houses and stuff like that, which would be the same, I'm assuming, for most of Europe. They would be, you know, similarly built, so they're good for keeping either the heat in, or I guess in turn, kind of keeping the cold out. But that can also subsequently be keeping the heat out as well, so long as your house is cool within to begin with, because you can just keep everything closed and stuff like that. Although I have seen on like Twitter a couple people being like, it's like hotter inside than outside kind of thing. Back in Hungary, the 44 to 45 is not the worst. Here in the UK, 57 and dying. Whoa. I got some pictures and stuff. Honestly, I don't really take too many pictures. Mainly my pictures that I'm going to show you are the Dokomi stuff I got and my flight stuff. So let's talk about my flights, I reckon. And I love having the code, because my schnozzy is dying. Here, let's go here. Boop. I guess we can move that.
Good day.
Oh, there we go. Maybe we push that up like that. Nice. Okay, that should be okay, I think. Maybe I broke something, I don't know. We'll see. have your curtains closed up to keep the sun out. Working well recently. Yeah, I mean, like, if it gets hot and stuff like that, what you can do is you can get, like, a cool, damp tea towel or something, throw that, like, over a chair, and then you have a fan blowing air over the cool tea towel or whatever. That works well as well. Yeah, it can happen once the heat is in, it stays in. Yeah. Can't with all the me, so hot, me. Bro, shut the fuck up. It is what it is. If you don't like it, then go. Unfortunately, some people can't just like up and go. But it's understandable when it is not the kind of quote norm to get significantly long heat waves for you guys. Yeah, go look, man.
Oi, smug.
Or 80 or thank you so much for the 13 months. Where did the chat go, by the way? There. Okay. Wait.
Good day.
Okay, now it should be good. I don't know where the chat went, but it should be good now. It should be working. Thank you for the Prime for 13 months. Sheesh. Ah, my nose. Let me blow it. Ooh, all right. So my flights. Let's talk about me getting over to Germany, guys. It was a long series of flights and waiting around and all that stuff. But realistically, it didn't. It kind of passed smoothly, I would say. So like, I started Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. Was it Monday? I can't remember. I think it was Monday I started, and I landed Tuesday in Germany. So I started around midday, like 9. No, I think I got up at like 8 a.m. Actually, when I was on my flight, I made some notes. Let me pull up those notes. Here we go. Monday. It was Monday. Guys, one thing that you know, if you haven't sort of heard from me, is I'm really bad with times and remembering things and remembering names. Like, even at work, there's work colleagues that I kind of like work with relatively, you know, infrequently, but I'll say hello to them and stuff, but I don't know their name kind of thing, you know? Or like, I know their name, but like, I'm like, wait, was their name this? Or wait, is that right? You know, like, yeah, it's kind of terrible. Oh, look at that. I even wrote down what time I woke up. I woke up at 7 a.m., not 8 a.m. Oh, that was right. Yeah, I was still tired when I woke up at 7 a.m. I think like the previous night, I went to bed like at 10 p.m. or something like that. I think it was. Might have been a little bit later. Might have been like 11:30. Times on names, everything is so hard to remember. Yeah. So 7 a.m. I wake up and I was still tired, and I think I got a little bit more sleep until 9 a.m. And then, you know, got everything ready, showered and stuff like that, and I put like the what do you call it? You know, the things I used for the shower. I like dried them off and then put them into my my luggage. And then my brekkie, I had a coffee, just like I have right now. And I had some chicken. And then at around 10:30, my brother came to pick me up, but he actually brought over a vanilla sliced dessert and a sausage roll. So that was kind of like an early lunch, like sort of snack type thing that we had. And then we drove down to the city, which is about an hour's drive to get down there to the airport. And then I was at the airport at around midday. I did all my check-in process and stuff like that. That was all relatively smooth and whatever else. I actually went into the like self-serve thingy, like you can just self-check out kind of thing.
Good day.
Hello, Neil. Welcome in. So I did all my self-serve stuff. And then, got my bags through and whatever else, and then went through security screening and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, this was around 12:30, and then I had about 2 hours to wait around for my first flight, which was going to be from Adelaide to Sydney, which is a 2-hour flight. So my seat was actually for my first flight, it was a window seat. I reckon it was a relatively smaller plane. And there was actually no one to my, because I was on the right hand side of the aircraft. I was on the window seat. There was no one to my left, so it was a spare seat, and then it was another person. So it wasn't a free row. It wasn't a completely free row, but we had a free seat between each other. But this was only like a 2-hour flight, so realistically, it's it's gone in an instant. Barely enough time to watch a movie or whatever. I think all I did was just listen to some music or something. Traveling back and forth through time for a single trip. Technically, yeah. Because of the 7.5 hour time difference, yeah. And then, yeah, I landed in Sydney. I hadn't been in the Sydney airport before. And how it works in Sydney is there's 3 terminals. There's 2 domestic terminals and 1 international terminal. Since I just got off a domestic flight, I had to make my way to the international terminal. So, which is kind of similar-esque, I think, to how Frankfurt works too. Because Frankfurt has 3 terminals, but I think they do I think they all do domestic and international ones, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, anyway, I had to exit the terminal, and there's buses and stuff you can take. So I took a bus, short bus, 5 minutes or whatever, from the terminal that I landed in, the domestic terminal, over to the international terminal, and then I went in there and went through security screening and all that once again, and then I had about 3.5 hours left. So my time in Sydney was a 4-hour layover, which I think if it's your first time traveling into an airport kind of thing that you haven't been before, I think 4 hours is a good ballpark, because it gives you enough time where if the plane you just landed in was delayed, you have plenty of time to still either A, have to go through security screening, which I did have to go through obviously again, because it was a domestic into an international. And I was able to find my gate and all that, and then I'm like, okay, I found my gate, so still got a bunch of time, so let me go meander around and go get some food or whatever and just chill out and stuff. So this is still while I'm within Australia anyway, but yeah. So I ended up getting some KFC, good old deep fried chicken. And then after that, I just sort of found an area where I could keep my phone charged, essentially, while I was using it. Even though on pretty much, on all my flights, like all the long flights, I wouldn't really count the 2-hour one from my domestic flight, a real flight when, I'm traveling over across the world. But all my flights, I could charge all my, my phone, basically. Like, I brought my tablet and my phone with me. I didn't use my tablet at all, just used my phone, basically. So, I was able to charge all my stuff while on the plane. So, I didn't have any issues with in regards to, like, running out of battery or anything like that. So, that was actually really good. So, Sydney to the Middle East, I was landing in Doha, which is the Hamad International Airport. Which I have a photo. This is a big fucking place. Here's one photo. This is just one section of the Hamad International Airport. From this section to like the other main section, it's probably like a 15 to 20 minute walk, like, a casual stroll. So this is like 4 levels, 4. There's like 4 levels of like food courts, and then right down the bottom you've got like, it branches out and there's a bunch of gates and stuff like that. Hello Erla, welcome in. Hello, Interfan, hello. I forgot the milk. Nah, I got some milk, but it's milk for me, not for you guys. Milk for my coffee. This place is so big. So the flight was 15 hours. Let's talk about the flight before we talk about the terminal. 15 hours of fucking long flight, guys. Holy shit. You drop in later again. Glad you're back. Good luck with workage meetings and stuff, I guess. So yeah, my Sydney to Doha was 15 hours. Fortunately, I had Wi-Fi. I had Starlink on this flight. So even though, like, you got the in-flight entertainment system, I actually didn't end up using that. I just used the free Wi-Fi, and I just watched like YouTube and dropped into some Twitch channels and stuff like that when I was on the flight. I would say I was in a relatively okay-ish position. The flight was like packed, basically. Like, I didn't see an empty seat at all. I was in the middle section, on an aisle seat. So I could like kind of stick my leg out a little bit, have a little bit of room. But I think my leg room was actually kind of fine. Like, so I didn't have a carry-on. I just had a backpack with me for like going onto the plane, and that my backpack is relatively small. So like when we would taxi off and land and whatever else, I would obviously put that under the seat. I didn't need to put it in the overhead compartment. And then when we were up in the air, I would move that to like where my feet would be, and then I would put my feet where the bag was underneath the seat in front of me. So I feel like with leg room, I was like completely fine. Even if the person in front of me like reclined their chair, I still had like relatively good leg room. Like it was kind of fine. And I mean, for that 15-hour flight, I only ended up getting up once, and that's like for me just to go to the toilet. And then when I was up, I like ended up stretching and stuff like that. But yeah, I only went to the toilet once. I did have like, I think like to my, like kind of right behind me ish. And then also like to the back right, a few like rows back, there were like some kids. They were relatively like okay. I think the only time like they were, making a ruckus was like when we were taking off. Because, like they don't know how to like, manage like the ear popping stuff, you know, when the internal pressure changes when you go up higher. But the one issue that I have on flights is sleeping. Like I can't sleep on flights. Like over those 15 hours, I probably maybe had less than 2 hours of a very bad interrupted sleep, I feel like. Or maybe a little bit longer, I'm not too sure. But yeah, I think it was like the only way I had some sleep on this flight was because it was just sheer exhaustion, because towards the sort of endish of the flight, probably about like 12 hours in or something like that, I was already up for like what, 12, 16, would have been 18, probably like 24 hours or whatever I was up already. So, you know, 12 hours into the flight, I had, you know, a few hours of sleep or whatever. But we didn't talk much, but the guy next to me, we ended up talking a little bit towards the end of our flight, which was kind of cool. I found out that he was from France. He lives in Australia. I think his mum was visiting or something, but he was actually going back to France with his mum because his uncle is like sick, so him and his mum were actually going back to France to go look after them. Yeah, he was a relatively cool dude. And then yeah, that was pretty much like my row to my right, I had people getting up and constantly, which was a little bit more annoying, but at least it wasn't in like my row. It was just the row to my right, which was only annoying because they would like hang around like to, you know, next to me kind of thing, as like the people would get up and then go to the toilet or whatever the hell. But yeah, that was kind of it. So there's also another photo I got of this airport. This is Hamad. This is one section here, like I mentioned, which you've got this top part, this top part actually comes in from here, which you've got on this left and this right path. You've got a train, like a tram, that actually goes from this section where I've taken the photo all the way down to the end. And there's a bunch of gates and stuff like that between the sections. And then when you actually get to like down here, for example, or even at the previous location, there's gates and stuff that will come off onto the left and the right. This is like a little central hub area, and there's gates that, as you can see, there's the signs and stuff that say like gates over there, and there's like a bunch of gates freaking everywhere. But I didn't have any issues like locating where I needed to go and stuff like that. You know, they got these like little informational panel things that you can search up stuff, and they've got all of the flights and gate information and stuff like that comes through. And like I didn't have any issues with like my luggage or anything like that. That was, you know, completely fine. But yeah, you'd have like a train that goes between the main sort of sections, which was pretty crazy. Like, it just goes to show how crazily big this airport is, and the amount of workers they have. Holy, like I would go into one of the bathrooms, and like there's like 2 workers in there, like permanently, just like cleaning and whatever else, like keeping everything clean and stuff. And I think even on these escalators and stuff like that, they would have like a person like right next to them cleaning and sanitizing like the handrails like constantly as well. It's like absolutely like unbelievable how many like people were actually just like working within the airport that, you know, would just be like cleaning staff or whatever. So, but yeah, it's a really cool place. When I traveled over there, so this was like my incoming flights and stuff like that, I actually found in the food court area, I found a KFC, and I'm like, let me see, you know, if the KFC is any good in the Middle East. Spoiler, it's not. Australian KFC is way better than here. It was like it was mediocre, to be honest. Like I had like a twister, basically like a wrap. Yeah, it was I don't know, I didn't really like it too much. I ended up still eating it because it was relatively expensive, because, you know, my currency is terrible, and the Qatar currency, whatever they use, is quite expensive. But yeah, it wasn't that great. Yeah. They've also got like a garden and things like that in there too. I didn't really take too many photos. I'm like the person who, like, you know, you go check out places, but always forgets to like take photos, basically. And then, like, I don't want to be like that weird person who's just like standing around taking like a lot of photos as well. You know, I just want to like get to the place where I want to be, and yeah. And then, so this was Doha. This was Sydney into Doha, which is a 15-hour flight. My next flight was Doha to Frankfurt, which I think was a six and a half hour flight. That one, once again, I was in the middle like row, but I was once again like on the aisle side. And that was, because it was like a much shorter, that was kind of like relatively okay. I think, where do I have it? Did I take a picture of? No, I didn't. I think I took a lot more photos, trying to think chronological order. I took a lot more photos coming back rather than going over. Telling us go, watch back the VOD, maybe be back later. Good luck, Agor. I think you've probably got some food at this point, if I remember. Yeah, the VOD will be available, no problems. So yeah, the transit in Doha was 4 hours, my layover, and then yeah, Doha to Frankfurt was 6.5 hours flight. I'm just checking it again. So yeah, it was 6.5 hour flight to Frankfurt. Landed in Frankfurt, you know, no dramas there. Picked up my stuff, and then organized travel to like my main area that I was staying for my trip. But yeah, that was left Australia Monday about midday, and landed Tuesday about midday-ish as well. So like it was 36 hours total, including like travel from when I first, you know, started, when I first like left my house, to where I like ended up being like staying for the kind of like most of my trip. So that was 26 hours of flights, I think. What's that? 15, 17. yeah, like 23 to 24 hours ish of flights, I think. So 15, yeah, it was about 23 to 24 hours of flying. And then I had a bunch of layovers and a bunch of travel and stuff, so it was like 37 hours of like waiting, flying, traveling, etc. So it took a long time. But I don't think I was really at all jet lagged, to be honest. I was very exhausted because I didn't have too much sleep and whatever else. And I didn't really eat anything like the the Tuesday evening. But by like Wednesday afternoon, evening, I was relatively fine and I had my appetite back. Flew to Frankfurt. You could have met me. Friend of yours flew to Australia before, so yeah, it does suck at that time. Yeah, so it's a 7.5 hour difference, which is why like when I left it was midday, and when I landed it was midday. So it was like midday local time. Then so the Wednesday I was just chilling out, resting, etc. Thursday travelled to Dusseldorf, which was a 3-hour drive. Man, I tell you what, German like city roads are absolute fucking terrible. The roads on like the Autobahn and stuff, they're perfectly fine. That's good road quality. But like the city roads, the road quality is absolutely terrible. Depends on the city. I guess maybe for Berlin, because Berlin's kind of relatively like, I wouldn't say like quote high tech, but it's more modern compared to some of the other older cities like Munich and stuff like that. But yeah, one thing I noticed was the road quality was pretty bad, at least from the area that I was staying and stuff like that. And there was a lot of damn roadworks as well. Like on the Autobahn, there was tons of roadworks. And I'm like, man, like, I guess like the good thing with the roadworks was that you could still have 2 lanes essentially for roadworks. And it told you, like how long the roadworks were and stuff like that. They would have, the distance for it. And it was still relatively speedy, so in Australia, if there's like roadworks on the highway or whatever, it's like 80 k's and then 50 k's, and then outside of roadworks, so normal speeds is 100 and 110. Whereas in Germany, I noticed that there was basically like 80 was like the slowest, and that was within roadworks, I think. And then there was sometimes even 100 in roadworks. And then there was like 100 and I think 10, and then 130, and then unlimited speeds. Which, like, man, I feel like Australia could definitely do 130 on the highways. I feel like. But yeah, got down to Dusseldorf on Thursday, so a day before Dokomi. Just because, we didn't want to have to travel on, like the Friday, and then it's like, oh, Dokomi now, kind of thing. You get down there the day before, and then you can rest up and stuff like that, and then start fresh. where is it? Here. This is like everything that I got and that I bought and also gifted and stuff. And we'll go through like more specific things. I've got smaller photos so I can zoom in. Usually the federal government takes care of the Autobahn, while their respective cities and federal states handle the city, streets and rural roads. Okay, so it's government stuff and not privatized like subsidiary stuff. Yeah, within Australia it's kind of similar, but also a lot of the government will what do you call it, like subcontract like private companies, and then those companies will like come and do the work, and the private companies are usually like really good with doing all the roads and stuff. I guess they will like quote sell like the contract kind of thing, and then I think these private companies will bid on, you know, the contract, and you know, obviously the highest bidder will, you know, win the contract, and they'll go and do the work. I think that's kind of how it works in Australia. So I was over in Dokomi for the entire con, Friday through to Sunday, which was my first con ever, let alone in a different country. And I got a bunch of stuff. Most of the stuff that I got was in Hall 10, as you can probably see. Yeah, continent as well, even. Yep. I did pick up a couple things in, I think it was Hall 5, namely the Elden Ring stuff. But I can zoom in here. I got the Passion Book, obviously. And I got this so then I could actually go around and get signatures of the people who were in the book. And then whenever I got their signature, I'd be like, well, I'm here right now, so I'll also grab some merch and stuff like that. So obviously with Nai's artworks, I got her little Zion book. Namely because when I was like looking at it, I was like, oh, flip to this page, and then there was like full like gorgeous jabby artwork, and I'm like, oh, now I need to get it, basically. Then I got a few like postcards as well, which really good stuff, and some stickers and things like that. And then I also got the Chatoki booklet, because inside the booklet she drew like over the course of you know, I think like last year and stuff like that, she had drawn some community mascots, and so my mascot is actually inside there too. So I was like, well, I'll get the Chatoki book too. Went to Uyu's booth as well, because she's in the Passion Book. And actually Uyu has now debuted, I guess it was like last week. I think it was last week, or it might have been the week before. Uyu's debuted her new model, which was made by Oni Kenzo, who's actually right next to Uyu. Actually, she had her own booth as well, right next to Uyu. And I think on like the Friday, towards the end of the Friday, I think Uyu pretty much sold out on like most of her stuff. Because on Saturday I saw that pretty much like there was nothing on her booth, and I think she had like a booklet so you could like put your name in it or whatever. And I don't know what else she was doing, because I didn't inquire what she was doing. You know, whether she was like doing little sketches or something like that. I'm not too sure. went to Yuna. Once again, she's in the art book. So saw her, and then right next to Yuna was Meron. So I got some Meron stuff. And then right next to those guys was also Kroko and Desi. So I got Kroko and Desi. They're also both in the Passion art book. So got those signatures as well. And then I'm like, well, Rangut drew this piece, and I'm like, I have to get this as well. You know, you got to have some Rangut quote merch, Rangut artwork, because who knows if Rangut will try for a booth or do whatever else. Who knows? I'm sure he could definitely pull it off, but who knows if he will do it. Also, with Kroko, he also has the community artworks, so don't mind the cups. I was trying to lay it down flat because I had it in a tube, keeping the A3s safe. But I got both of the community artworks because my character is in both of them as well. So my character is in right there in the bindle table, and then pretty much smack bang kind of in the middle of this one too. Yeah. So yeah, that was the Kroko Desi. That was kind of like all around that sort of section, that area. Also Oimel. I was actually helping Oimel a little bit. I could have probably helped her a lot more, but she actually upgraded my ticket from, a regular ticket into like an exhibitor ticket. So very thankful for that. And she's like, you don't need to do anything. And I'm like, woman, let me do something for you. Because she upgraded my ticket, and I was able to like skip lines and stuff like that and get in like early and things like that. So whatever, like, I was trying to help her a little bit. And like, I was like, so I think on Friday, I was gonna purchase this card, which has Tina and Javi sort of flipped with little mascot and stuff like that. I guess it's technically a corrupted owie. Or puppet owie, I guess, I think is what her next version is named. And she's like, Oima was like, you can just have it. And I'm like, no, let me pay. And she's like, I am not making you pay. You can just have it. But then I got her back because the next day, on Saturday, I came back and I'm like, I'm going to grab this because this is so cute. Little sheep. And I picked up the Nai one with the Chatoki, and then also her OC with some more sheep. I picked up that. And then she had like €12 for 4 cards. And I'm like, hey, this is €12 and I get that other one for free. Because it's 4 for 12. Now let me give you €12. And she's like, fine. so yeah, I got her in the end. And then got some stickers with it, and a keychain. But I didn't notice when I got back home in Australia that I have 2 keychains, and I said that to Emil when she was streaming the other day, and I'm like, I just noticed that you gave me 2 keychains, and she's like, oh, it's fine. Find someone to pass a keychain onto. But she also did this amazing name badge. So if you were there at Dokomi, you probably saw me with the Sheep of Honor name badge. Look how cute. It's got my OC's horns there. Little sheep. So cute. That was unexpected. But actually a very good thing, I think. Because I feel like the next convention, like next Dokomi that I go to, where there's a lot of people who will like recognize me, I will have to do some sort of name badge kind of thing, I think. As well as a few other things, like, probably have like a book for people to sign into and stuff like that. Because I noticed that there was a lot of that as well. People were like, "Oh, can you sign in my book?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, you want my, like, you want me to sign in your book? Like, what?" So, yeah. But yeah, Oimo was definitely great, definitely fantastic. So we'll move on to this one, so the next one over. So on, I think it was Saturday, I went to Yen and picked up some artwork of Yen, and once again got her signature with the Passion art book. And also Wern was there as well, helping Yen's booth, so I got Wern's signature as well. And then, of course, Tina merch. I obviously have to get Tina merch. Duh. I think this sticker here is actually from Nai. I think if I recall, you could, if you went to 9, you said, "Hey, I'm a Toffo, and I'm also a Blin, so Tina fan, and also a Dioriku fan." She Naya would give you 2 little stickers of each community thing. So that's where that was from, I believe, if I recall. Once again, it's been about a month or whatever, so my memory is a little fuzzy. But I made sure that I went to Tina on the Friday early as possible. I think I was like, because I was in early, thanks to Emil, I was able to pretty much get everything that I kind of wanted, straight away, because obviously really early, so I was able to get everything. Although I didn't get a mug, I kind of passed on the mug, and then on the Saturday I was like, humming and hawing, and then like I spoke to Christian there, and he was like, "Yeah, we're kind of out of mugs," and I'm like, fair enough, it is what it is. So yeah, that's fine. Over here I got some very cool Elden Ring art. So this stuff I picked up in hall, I think it was hall 5. Wait, let me get the Dokomi app up. Let's see. By an artist called Fei Hai. Feihai. They were in hall 3, not 5. Hall 3. Yeah, hall 3. I think 5 was the 18 plus area. Hall 3 was the artist alley, I think. Hall 10, which was everyone else, Tina and etc., that was the creator hall. So yeah, hall 3 was the artist one. Yeah, so this artist here was in hall 3. Which actually, when I went over to hall 3, I went over and I saw Ein, because I wanted to give him a keychain, and also he's in the book, in the Passion book, so I got his signature and I gave him a keychain. And right next to, actually, which we can go over to, this is all the gifts I got from lovely people, lovely community members, etc. When I was over at Ein's booth, I think this was on the Saturday, Dreamy was actually there. So Dreamy sticker and keychain. And I could tell that it was Dreamy because when he was talking, I'm like, that's Dreamy's voice. And I was like right next to him, And I wasn't saying anything because like Dream was kind of like first there, like talking. And then he sort of finished up with Iron and he was gonna walk off, and I like tapped his shoulder and I'm like, Dreamy, just stand over there. we'll talk in a minute, because he was on the Friday, he was actually in Discord DM saying like, oh hey, when are we gonna be able to meet up and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I've left the con for the Friday already. I'm sure we'll see each other, you know, on the Saturday or the Sunday, you know. Regardless, I'll be at like some of the meet and greet, like the community meet and greets and stuff like that. So if anything, we'll see each other there. But yeah, we ended up seeing each other at Iron's booth and exchanged, you know, pleasantries, etc. And then that is when we actually went and walked over to this artist, and I picked up those and stuff like that. Yeah. So that was that. I think I also ended up seeing Debo there as well, in Hall 3. And also, that is when I saw Goopy as well, I believe. So lovely Goopy tasty art, and also cute little doodle with the little chopstick, you know, mochi type thing with, you know, my mascot like that. Very, very cute. You got a pool table at home? Yeah, this is all of the merch here is on my pool table. Well, it's not all on it right now because I put it back in folders and whatever else, but I laid it all out for the picture on the pool table. Yes. Within my home, I have a pool table, yes. I also saw, so I'm trying to remember from the Friday who I saw, and then Saturday/Sunday who I saw. You got beers, just saying. Puna sounds great. Nice. I think most of these people, I think I ended up seeing Saturday. Funny thing with Reeks is we kept on encountering each other throughout the entire con. You know, on Friday, on Saturday, and Sunday, and like we were like, fancy seeing you here, etc., etc. Who was the card and stickers are left? So this duck was Altarian, I believe. He was handing out duck sort of photos, so he took this photo. He does like photography as a bit of a hobby, like some people do art as a hobby. He does photography, so he was giving out ducks to some people, and also I think Jabby got like a photo of a bunny. And yeah, things like that. So I can't remember what day I saw Cell. I mean, I saw Cell around, you know, here and there. So this is Cell's OC. I think on Friday, but I also saw them on Saturday. Chili. So Chili had like a bit of a gacha thing where he would be like, hey, take a card out of a little box, and mine ended up being a pumpkin soda, and he has that. I think a bunch of other people got like different ones and things like that, but yeah, he would essentially, like, his little cards and stuff like that would be different mascots and stuff like that. That he would have. They're also like nice and shiny too. They look really cool. The camera kind of picks that up a little bit, but yeah, they're a cool little card thing he made. It's very cool. I saw Nana-chan, who had a booth. Lesh, of course, on Saturday. I think I went over there early Saturday. Lesh wasn't there. I think actually only Old Chum was behind the booth over at Dioriku's. And I was like, oh, g'day, have you seen Lesh around, etc.? And he was like, no, but like, and I was like, oh, okay, well, if you have seen him, can you just let him know that, Peg has dropped by, and then like let him know that he can message me or whatever, because I wanted to like catch up with Lesh. And then so we kept on talking a little bit, and he's like, wait, I kind of remember, who you were from when you helped out with a bit of modding for Dioriku for one of our subathons. You're trustworthy. Can you run over to Tina's booth and get like A3 like clear sleeves? And I'm like, yeah, I'll see if I can go find some sleeves for you. And he's like, thank you, that'd be great. So I ended up having a little bit of a side quest. I went over to Tina's booth. They didn't have any. So I was like, right, okay. Let me check with TV, who's literally like on the other side. They didn't have any. I don't recall. So I was like, okay. Let me go to Oimel. And then I was like, hey, do you know Dioriku? She was like, yes, I know her. I was like, okay, cool. I got a bit of a weird request, but Old Chum, who's, Dioriku's like partner, he was asking for some A3 clear sleeves. Do you have any that, they could borrow? And Oimo was like, yes, take these, give them to here. Oh, but also like take this and take this and take this over, like a bunch of like her merch and like a card and stuff like that. Please make sure that, they know that this is from, me, essentially. And I'm like, no problem. I'll go and do that. So then, yeah, I returned over to Old Chum and I'm like, here you go. Tina didn't have them, but I found these. These are from, Oimel. So yeah, just make sure that, Dioriku knows that these are from her. And he's like, yep, no problem. I got this. And I'm like, no worries. If you need anything else, then just like let me know or whatever. And yeah, that was that engagement. So it hadn't caught up with Lesh just yet. Lesh ended up being later on in the Saturday. Actually, I think he was behind the booth again. And I ended up like going up to him and I'm like, hey, can you guess who I am just by me talking to you? And he's like, I've met a lot of people. I'm sorry, I'm not too sure. And I'm like, I've come from a very long way. And he's like, a lot of people have come from a very long way. And I'm like, upside down, land down under. And he's like, wait, no. And then like, cause I had the name badge, but I was covering the name badge, and I'm like, yeah, buddy. And then like revealed the name badge kind of thing. And it's like, wait, oh my God, it's so good to see you. Like it was wholesome. It was a good moment. And then like, that's when I gave him where is it? The keychains. This is the keychain that I was giving everyone, which is actually Sally drew it. That's why I've got it in front of the little Sally sticker. So I handed him that keychain, and that's when he's like, I don't have anything other than business cards. And I'm like, mate, it's still something from you, so I'll grab a business card. But yeah, that was having a chat with Lesh for 10 or so minutes while he stepped away from the booth for a bit, and old chum was managing it. So yeah, that was really cool meeting Lash. Because like I remember when he originally knew that I was coming over to Dokomi, he's like, we have to catch up, you know. So that was cool. Rosebell card plus a couple stickers, a shiny sticker too. It looks so cool. She had a meet and greet on the Saturday. So yeah, spoke with her and also Stenwolf a little bit. So that was cool. Demi, Sachi, Chromie. I can't remember which these ones were from. I can't remember. Sinfi. Wern, these are Werns. Ah, okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, I figured, yeah, I can't remember, yeah, if these were, yeah. I think I got them, I think when I went to Yen's, when I went over to Yen's, yeah, booth and got the signatures and stuff like that. I think that's when I got them. There was a lot going on, like on pretty much all the days. And I'm like, well, I'm getting so much stuff. I'm like putting it into my bag and I'm trying to keep it ordered and trying to remember all these things. But also it's been a month as well. But okay, yep. But yeah, Sinfi was there. Actually saw Sinfi at, I think it was at Jabby's meet and greet. And she was like absolutely shy, like holy. She was extremely shy. And I think it was her first convention as well. But yeah, was able to meet her. This sticker is really cool because it's very like sparkly and shiny. And actually, I remember her drawing this on her stream. I remember. Who was shy? Didn't get her name. Sinfi. Sinfi VVT. Too lazy was this panda. Yeah. Met Booty, who was behind Yuna and Melron's booth. He was helping them out. Booty's a cool fella. Also, like, had a chat with him over at Jabby's meet and greet. I went to like Rosebell's meet and greet, Jabby's meet and greet, and Lita's meet and greet. But going to Jabby's meet and greet was good because I was able to meet a lot of other people. Like, if you're not gonna catch up with people because it's too hard to, like, you know, find where people are, just go to like a community meet and greet of someone's, and you're gonna like be able to catch up with like everyone else, pretty much. I think this tofu sticker was from Ein when I went over to Ein on the Saturday and spoke with Dreamy as well. So I met Velzari on the Saturday at Jabby's meet and greet. Also met Kiyomi as well. I actually kind of forgot that Kiyomi was attending, even though I typed in her like Discord Dokomi channel like, hey, I'm going to be over there. Maybe we meet somewhere. And yeah, so we ended up meeting at Jabby's meet and greet, which was cool. And I think Kiyomi actually kind of got like, quote, dragged over there from some of her friends or one of her mods or something like that. Like kind of like dragged her over there. But yeah. Hello, Hearty. Good morning. Is it morning for you? It's kind of like afternoon, no? You missed Vel or Kiyomi? West Coast. Okay, yeah. Kiyomi, you miss Kiyomi? Yeah, I know that. Like, I don't think I really ever saw Kiyomi go into Hall 10. I think she did go into Hall 10. I'm not too sure what time and what day though. But yeah, I only saw her at Jabby's meet and greet. Yeah, so her and Vel, as well as Debo, sort of like came up to me, and Debo introduced me to Vel and Kiyomi. You had to catch up on some sleep. 3:12. 15:12. Yeah, fair enough. I hope things have been on the up and recovery for you. Hopefully you're doing well. Likewise, I met Bees at Jabby's meet and greet as well. There's another sticker behind this one, but yeah, Bees is a very cool dude. So it was cool catching up with him, because likewise, with myself, he also had a relatively long travel to come over, because America is relatively far away. Met Creeper, and also as well with meeting Creeper, I believe met Froshy there, Green, which I don't think I have I have Green's guitar pick, but I forgot to put it into this picture. Green, Froshy, Creeper was there, and Ranter. So Froshy messaged me, I think it was on the Saturday, and it was like, hey, we're over sitting down over near like a little bit further back, but where the dance stage was in Hall 10. You know, if you got some time, come over and, you know, we'll have a chat. So I went over there, I think it was maybe around like early-ish in the day. And yeah, spoke with those guys and caught up with those guys, and those are some cool dudes. Didn't get much worse, but it's okay. Well, better that it doesn't get worse than getting worse, you know. So it's still positive news that yeah, you're so cool you didn't even show up. Maybe next year. Are you gonna plan for maybe 2027 or something like that? That you'll be able to attend Japan? You're not too sure yet. It is a big. You are? So they've already got plans in the works. Oh, there you go. Yeah. I mean, a lot of these guys are European and stuff like that, so they're gonna go every day. You know. Sorry, not every day. They're gonna go every year. So you'll meet a lot of these cool people. Kachao. These. Alright, this sticker was from Nye, from saying, you know, hey, I'm a Blind fan as well. So, yeah, that's that. You're freeing up funds to make sure you can do tickets and hotel all at once. You should see if you can do hotel early. As early as possible, I think. Although you never know, kind of know, because people might cancel out, you know, later. People might cancel things I've already kind of booked. So then slots might open up and they might be a little bit cheaper. Because I know that for next year, they've already announced it. It's in July or something. Which is like peak, like a holiday, school holiday or whatever time. So, and then there's also like in the same city, Dusseldorf, there's also like a stadium, not a convention thing, but like a game or whatever on as well. So I think hotels are already very expensive. There's a concert going on. Yeah, the same weekend there's a concert as well as Dokomi or something like that. And it's also in like school holiday time. So I think stuff is already way more expensive than it was this year, which is a little bit of a shame. I feel like it would have been good if they got the same time slot, but yeah, I guess, it's kind of hard for... Well, I don't know if it's hard for, Dokomi because it's like Germany's biggest convention. I don't know if it's hard for them to like get specific dates, but yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Park bench you can deal. That would be absolutely horrendous. No, like if you like had to just sleep on a park bench. Good lord. The little sprout, I think, was Lowy's, but I don't think I actually saw Lowy. I can't remember who I grabbed this from. I think it was Esky. I think Esky was walking around with a bunch of sprouts on his backpack, and he's like, "You guys got a sprout? Take a sprout." I think Esky had a bunch of sprouts. But yeah. Well, were they Eskies or were they not Eskies? I thought Esky just grabbed a bunch and then was gonna share more of them. Not too sure. It's a pain they pushed it to July. It's not gonna be fun. He brought them. Ah, okay, so it was Esky. Okay. Cool. Because yeah, I know that Lita had one. And yeah, well, I saw Esky on the Saturday. Gamescom is still 100k extra visitors, and Dokumi still. Gamescom's still bigger. The Gengar was from Misaki, but I think Phlox gifted this to me. And holy, Phlox has a boatload of keychains. My god. Man, like you can hear him from a mile away when he like walking around with his backpack, because you just hear all this jingling from like his like 50 plus keychains that he's got on his bag. It's insane. It's good to be over 400k this year, it seems. That bag was 95% keychains. Backpack, yeah. Backpack. What are you saying? Still wrong anyway. Yeah. Don't know who this dude is. Man, nah. Met Tio, of course. Backpack, my guy. Met Tio a few times, obviously. I think throughout the entire con, had a chat pretty much every day, I think we did. So yeah, that was cool. And I'm pretty sure most of you guys that I saw, you made 40 and it was out so fast. Yeah, I had like 50 keychains to hand out, and they went very quick too. So I feel like if I go next time, it probably won't be keychains. I might do a very cute sticker sheet or something like that, like Jabby's sticker sheet. Look how adorable this is. It is so cute. I love it. I need to get some sort of like sticker book thingy where I can put all these stickers into a book. I know that Uyu has like a sticker book where like you can peel the stickers off and they don't rip or anything. So I wonder if I can get some sort of sticker book that you can like, you know, peel the stickers off and then put them somewhere else and stuff like that. And then this was Mary over here, Red Mary, who is an artist and streams as well. Had a brief interaction when we were lined up for Rosebell's meet and greet on the Saturday. They want to bring back half of it again, but apparently, you know, more than 40 people. Yeah, I was like, man, I got a lot of these keychains and stuff like that. I'm gonna have like, you know, I'm gonna be ending up coming back home with you know, some in hand, but they were going out quick. So plenty of people I met. So yeah, and of course I met Lita. Technically, I think our first meeting was in Rosebell's once again. Meet and greet, and then I went to Lita's meet and greet as well. That's where I also saw people like Kuro and things like that. Saw Bandit as well on the Friday and the Saturday. We also were like kind of like talking similar-esque to with like bees, because obviously, you know, us people from Australia and also America, you know, we had a long time to travel. Because I think Locke, I was speaking with Locke Sexush. He's Australian as well, and so we had a long time traveling from Australia. But he did a different route, because we were talking like, oh, what route did you take? And he went through the Singapore route, but he stopped over for a few days to like visit some friends in Singapore. So like his travel wasn't as laborious as mine, I would say. Like, because I did all my travel, you know, flat bang in, you know, a day and a half, and he kind of had his split up over, you know, a few days with a bit of a break. The other day, he found out Bando has to be cracked smart. Yeah? But yeah, I did most of my shopping on the Friday with a little bit Saturday. I met mostly everyone Friday and Saturday. And then on the Sunday, I kind of just chilled out in Hall 10. And then I think I went to a couple different halls, like Hall 1 for a signature and stuff like that. But like Sunday for me was very chill, just kind of like sat behind Ollie Mills' booth, helped her out a little bit more and things like that, and yeah. Man works in the electronics industry on wafers. You need smarts to not break your head and make it. I think it's usually even a master's degree job. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. Nice. So yeah, that was my Dokomi kind of trip. Ended up, so I stayed until Monday, so like stayed late, like late Sunday to like pack up and stuff like that, to help Doimo like pack everything up and things like that. So did like the closing part with her, which I guess was like one of the largest parts of me helping, I guess, her. In terms of other things, I think Friday I didn't eat out or anything. Saturday I ate out. Who was there? Let's see. Saturday ate out with Chili, Jabi, Kuro, Bandit, Bees, Lita, Takao, Cat, and Anger. So that was on a Friday. We did Korean. I believe it was Korean barbecue. On the Sunday was like a bunch of like the exhibitors plus their helpers. So we did, if I remember, I think Misaki was there, Oimel and King, her partner, Jabi, myself, so that was like the Oimel booth. And then we had TV, Sheepy, who else was it? Tina, Christian, Andy, and some more people, I think. So I think it was like all up like 13 or something people. We had Turkish, a Turkish dinner. So that was cool. That was really nice. I would say like eating out is goddamn expensive. So a big culture difference between Australia and like Germany for eating out is you gotta pay for water. So, you know, like €7 or €8 for like, you know, 750ml bottled, you know, glass bottle of water is extremely expensive for water. Like 11-12 Australian dollars for water. Very damn expensive. Hello Ray, no milk, that's fine. I can help you with that. Whoa, hey yo. So that's a very big culture shock where when you eat out, you know, and you want water, you got to purchase the water. Even though, you know, Germany has very good like water regulations with, you know, tap water, you know, being drinkable and stuff like that. And the tap water was like is perfectly fine over in Germany. You know, it's no weird taste or anything like that for me. It was perfectly fine. Like I would say it's literally like on par with my water I get out of like my rainwater tank essentially. Speaking of rain, I think throughout the entire Germany trip there was maybe only 2 to 3 days of like kind of bad-ish weather. Every other day was I guess like very, you know, relatively very good, you know, on the more warmer, sunnier side. I think only Dokomi was like significant heat, you know, 30 degree or whatever. I think like the week, you know, that I left, which was last week, you know, I left the Tuesday. I think after that, like the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it started warming up, and now you guys have like 30 degree plus weather. So I kind of like, I fit in, my time was fit in very well, you know, with like between massive heat waves, but I would have been fine with the heat anyway, you know, apart from it being relatively wet heat, which I'm not really a fan of. I'm not really a fan of wet heat. Dry heat is better to manage. So throughout all my other things when I was over in Germany, I went through to some different cities and stuff like that. You guys have like a lot of old architecture, you know, a lot of old churches and things like that. Very tight, like cobblestone streets and things like that. At least with the cities that I went to, you know, relatively old cities that, you know, were you know, built and rebuilt and stuff like that. Back, you know, in the 1900s and things like that. early 1900s. Yeah, very, very cool to walk around and just like look at the buildings and things like that. Yeah. So, very, very nice time. Oh, welcome back, Jeppy. Hello. So yeah, that was cool. And then what else is culture shocks? I already knew that you guys have pretty much everything closed on Sunday, so there wasn't really too much of a culture shock with that. Like, even though for me in Australia, Sunday has everything open, but I was already prepared for things being closed on Sunday. So it wasn't culture shock, you know. It wasn't like, oh, it's Sunday, I'm running out of this, you know, let's go for a shop. There was no case of that, you know. Already knew about that. I mean, I think the biggest ones was just the water in terms of that. On the roads, you guys have a lot of freaking trucks though. Holy, like your autobahns will be like 3 lanes, you know, wide, but then you'll have that many trucks that it's not really 3 lanes and it's more like 2 lanes because you just got a lane full of trucks. And then you'll have, you know, times where a truckie will be like, oh, let's overtake this other slow truck. So, you know, we'll take forever to overtake because we're speed limited, and we'll just hold up a lane of cars that just want to get by. So, you know, that's cool. Oh, and I swear to God, like if you go over in Germany, you could start a business selling blinker fluid. Like, honestly.
Peggy Heart.
Hello, Reactions. Thank you for the 14 months. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. But yeah, I found that a lot of people on the Autobahn did not like using their indicators. And if you left even slightly more than a car's length of distance between you and the car in front, you know, reactive, safe stopping distance, you know, because you're going like 130 k's an hour or whatever. You want to leave some distance.
Pegway Flower.
Hello, Flocks. Thank you for the 28 months. It's the man with 1,000 keychains. Hope you're doing well. I hope everyone's doing well and not dying in your heat wave. That's for sure. But yeah, people would see this opportunity like, oh shit, my car can fit in there. Let me just jump in there. You know, people would see that gap as an opportunity to bloody be an unsafe driver. So yeah, in other words, I'm saying is Germans can't drive. But I guess it's also other Europeans. So just in general, Europeans can't drive. I mean, first of all, you drive on the wrong side of the road, like left-hand driving. Like, what is this bullshit? You know? So you've already got that wrong. Classic. Shut up. Alright guys, I can't talk anymore. I gotta shut up. And then it was my last week, and I went back down to Frankfurt for the last day, because I was leaving early, 9 a.m. My flight out was at 9 a.m. So I went down the day before, stayed in a hotel, and then got up 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, something like that. Took a bus to the terminal, figured out where I needed to go for the check-in, checked in and all that sort of stuff, and then went over to the gate that I was gonna be leaving from. And let's see, I think this is where I started taking more photos of my return. I didn't get photos of the flight coming over because I was in the middle. It was in the middle of, like, I was in the middle aisle, so I didn't get any, like, window seat photos, obviously. But returning, I was on both of my return flights. So my return was much easier, or much better, than my time going over. So I had to go, when I went over, it was an extra flight, an extra layover. My return was a lot more direct. I had 2 flights instead of 3, so that already shaved off, like, flying time. So it was Frankfurt to Doha. So this was the right side of the plane. This is Frankfurt heading over to Doha. I was on the right side window seat. And the best thing ever happened, where if we have a look at this, 2 seats next to me, free. I was basically for free. I was upgraded economy for free because I could lounge around. I had the row to myself. It was amazing. Very, very good. Like, so when I first came over, like, I would have been, you know, in this seat, you know, over here in the aisle seat in the middle. That was both of my big flights going over, you know, Sydney to Doha, Doha to Frankfurt. I was, like, in this seat. But yeah, so for the 6 hours of Frankfurt to Doha, had all this room to myself. Very, very good. So this is like another photo where we start moving. It's kind of like cloudy-ish, you know, clearish. This was like early morning. And then, you know, on the runway. And then we were up in the sky, a little bit cloudy and stuff like that. But yeah. I started taking the photos of the food. So like at the beginning we had, you know, some corn, some crunchy corn, sour cream and onion. You would open this bag and, like, you wouldn't even open your bag. Other people would open their bag, like from, you know, the aisle across or whatever, and you could easily smell it. It was insane that how strong, like, the smell was, but the taste was pretty good. So I had that and a bit of water. And heading back to it, I guess, as well. Like all of the in-flight entertainment stuff, you know, you've got USB-C, USB, regular. So like I could easily charge all my stuff. I actually really liked this in-flight entertainment setup, because you had your table at the bottom, but up the top you also had like a kind of like a phone holder, or you had like a little tray thing that you could put your phone on, or a tablet or whatever. So that was actually really good. So yeah, we had the corn there, and then this one was like the main meal kind of thing. The plane food, I would say, was really good. So I went with Qatar Airways. I would say plane food, you know, it's not always the best, but I would say I was perfectly fine with plane food. So I think this was like a mashed potato with like vegetables and stuff. This was like a beef mashed potato type thing, with like, I think it was like an apple crumble dessert thing. This was some like cold rice, I don't know, like thing. I didn't really like this. This wasn't my fancy, so I didn't. I had a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, nah, I don't know, like eating more of that might make me sick or something like that. And then had like a bland bread roll but I had like a bit of cheese and a bit of butter. So I had the cheese and the butter with the bread roll, and that made it more appetizing. And like some bland piece of chocolate, basically. So that was like the main meal type thing. You got actual food, yeah, actual food. And after that, I had a coffee, and a sweet biscuit. The Biscoff Lotus brand Biscoff biscuits are so damn good. They're like super sweet. I'm like, oh, yummy. And then a few hours later, still on this Frankfurt to Doha, had some salt and truffle popcorn. And then because it was daytime, as we were over the Middle East, I was able to get some photos. So a bunch of, because it was daylight, relatively clear. It's actually like in Doha, I think it was like 37 degrees or something like that. Crazy heat. But when I landed in the airport, obviously it's not hot or anything because it's air conditioned. So, but like, yeah, I saw like the temperature outside and it's very hot. So yeah, I don't know what city or whatever this is, but yeah, that's some more stuff, flying over. Some actual skyscraper sort of shenanigans going over there. Like, this is like massive city sort of stuff. Like, this here looks pretty cool. Yeah, like a defined like ring type thing. Lotus is the goated brand. Biscoff's got the monopoly on airline cookies. They also got the cool windows that darken likely when the sun shines under it. Yeah, I think it had this plane had the windows that they don't have like the weird shutter thing that you like physically close. They got the button ones where I think it's like crystals that like crystallize or something when electricity goes through it or heat goes through it or something like that. That get darker and stuff. So this is how you can tell how big Hamad International like airport is. So this was when I was coming in. We would continue going from the right to the left, and then we would like turn around and then come in onto the airways. But this place is massive, so you got like this main section here, and then you got the other section down here. And then you got all these gates that come like jutting off here and along this central part, and then along here, and over here, and then over here. So there's a massive amount of like gates and stuff like that you board and get off on these planes. Even in the airport, usually they got UV activated particles darkening because you need to make sure to keep the heat out. Okay. I didn't really look outside, I guess, when I was in this airport because it was that freaking huge. I didn't like really like go to like a close window to like look out. But yeah, this whole place this whole airport is massive, and the actual like terminal location is huge. Been outside. I see what people are saying about the heat. Ooh. Quick, get back inside. Yeah, so going back to the Frankfurt airport thing, I think I came in and I left on Terminal 3. But they've got like 3 terminals, but they're like kind of far away from each other. And like there's a lot of buses and there's a train and stuff that go between all of them. I don't know how it works in Frankfurt, whether it's like certain terminals are dedicated to like, international airlines or domestic airlines or whatever. I'm not too sure if it works similar to Sydney, because I know that Sydney has two 2 domestic terminals and it has 1 international terminal. But yeah. Oh yeah, that's when we saw that place, that one with the trains and all those terminals. So like this little hallway thing here is actually this middle part. That's what that middle part is. And then I think it's this end over here, I think. Is this section. So very huge place. Yeah, it's nice and cool in here, I was supposed to know. By looking at the temperature. I have a video here. I think this is takeoff. Yeah, this is taking off. All of the... Oh wait, you can't see it. Why can't you see it? I don't know why you can't see it on the thing. But regardless, big place. All of my like takeoffs and landings were very smooth, and I had like very minimal turbulence. Not gonna lie, like for very long flights that I had, they were all very smooth. You know, a little bit of turbulence here and there, but like nothing crazy. You know, it was all very smooth. Terminals are purely for direction, not of takeoff and clearance based on noise pollution, because overnight you need to fly around the areas or be capable of a steep climb to take off centers. Okay. When I was in, so like this here, you know, we were landing in Doha. This was Frankfurt to Doha on my return. I was in Doha and I'm like, I'm not going to go for KFC again because it was absolutely terrible. Instead, I'm going to go for a burger. So I found a burger joint. I got myself a double cheese burger with some fries or whatever. It's pretty... The burger was pretty good, I would say. Fries were probably a little bit too salty for my liking, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. Pretty damn expensive once again though. I mean, fortunately, I had like with my airline, I had like a $20 or $20 US like voucher that I could use on whatever food purchase. So I used that voucher here. And so all up with that voucher included, I ended up spending like 11 Australian. So if you take away the $20 US voucher, this would have been very damn expensive in terms of Australian dollar. It would have been like let's see, 20 US is something like 25, let's say. So it would have been like 35 Australian or something like that, which is very expensive. You know, for some fries and a burger, and I got a bottle of water as well. But yeah, if our food is expensive for no good reason, yes, it's wild. But anyway, on to the Doha to Adelaide flight. So I didn't need to go back to Sydney. I had a direct to my home city, Adelaide, and instead of this being 15 hours like it was Sydney to Doha was 15 hours. Doha back to Adelaide was 13 hours. So it basically, like, it's funny, like the Adelaide to Sydney, because there's no direct out of Australia. There's no direct out Adelaide to Doha. I had to go to Sydney first and then Sydney to Doha, which is weird because that's 15 hours of flying versus an Adelaide, or I guess Doha to Adelaide was 13 hours. So it already shaved off 2 hours of flying time there. But also it meant I didn't need to like land back in Sydney for like another layover, you know, which probably would have been, I don't know, 4 hours or whatever. So this was way better. My return was way better. Not only because on the, here I had the row seat free for the Frankfurt to Doha, but also 13 hours of flight. Another 13 hours of flying where I had the row to myself. And this was good. Holy. I tell ya, I was able to just lounge around once again for 13 hours basically. So this was good. And once again, similar to my Sydney to Doha with Wi-Fi, Starlink, I had once again with this plane 13 hours of Wi-Fi Starlink, which is absolutely like awesome. I think like all international flights should have Starlink, I feel like. Planes go right over 2 cities as consideration for landing and takeoff for us. With the Frankfurt airport thing, yeah. Cloud rotation is usually a lot of wind slowing the plane down. So yeah, this was good. This is in Doha. So when I was leaving, it was nighttime, obviously. So I was on the left side this time, as you can see. I was left side window seat. So there's that one that I took as we were just beginning to taxi out. And then I got a nighttime photo. Very bright. We were still climbing here. But yeah, we were going over like some city sort of stuff. Well, it only looks very much brighter because my phone's nighttime camera likes to make lights a lot more brighter. But it looks very cool. But yeah, so the nighttime was very cool. But we came to some more food. This was this was a chicken Thai curry with like rice. Over here was like a chocolate cake type thing. And then this was like some beans and I don't know, something. I had a little bit of this, but I'm like, nah, not for me. But yeah, this was very good. A little bit spicy, but yeah, I also had a coffee with it. The bun was very bland, and there was no butter or anything like that with this bun, so I had to like kind of use up some of the curry juices with it. But the little dessert was really nice. And then after that, once again, another sweet biscuit. Ah, yummy. Very good. And then I think it was then like nighttime. It was like shut out. So like they turned basically like, the lights all off and whatever else. I'll put them to the lowest setting. So it was pretty much all dark and everything. So people were trying to sleep. I ended up only watching 2 movies out of all my flights, both to get over there and then return. I only watched 2 movies, and they were Fast and the Furious, and then Too Fast, Too Furious. So like the first 2 movies of the Fast and the Furious series, the very old ones. Airplane food is incredibly hit or miss. Yeah, I think Qatar Airways food is very good. I would say I would say that the service is very good as well. So I think like when I go again, I would try to go for Qatar Airways again rather than the other services and stuff, I think, because I had a really good time. Not to mention they were also the cheapest airline as well. But yeah, it was night time and people were sleeping and whatever else. I couldn't really sleep. I feel like on my 13-hour flight, I probably only got like 30 minutes of sleep, and it was kind of like, even though I had, you know, all this lounging space, it was still, you know, uncomfortable and stuff like that. Then it was a bit of a kind of like, I don't know, nighttime snack, would you call this? I had some chocolate ice cream, some Haagen-Dazs, very nice. And then this sandwich type thing was actually really good too. I don't know what they called this, but you know, they called it, you know, they were like oh, would you like a sandwich and some ice cream? And I'm like, yes to both, please. And yeah, they pulled out this, and I'm like, oh, interesting sandwich. But it was actually really nice. It was like, had like chicken and like vegetables and stuff like that in it. But yeah, it was really good. I can't remember what you call it as well, but yeah, it's got like a specific name. But it was warm, and it was like a, you know, a little bit toasty, like the outside stuff. Like an apple turnover? Yeah, kind of like an apple turnover, but, you know, not sweet. It's more savory. Yeah. But yeah, it was very nice. And then after that, it was about another hour or so, and then it was breakfast meal. They were serving breakfast and puff dough pastry. Yeah. My breakfast consisted of the sweet option, and this, out of all my meals on the planes, this was the best meal that I had, because this contraption here was absolutely amazing. So this was like a blackberry with a vanilla custard, like tart slash like pudding type thing. This was really yummy. And then I had some strawberry jam with the croissant. The croissant was actually not too bad. The croissant was like a little bit crispy, like a little bit toasty, which was really nice. And then I think it was like a raspberry type of thing, strawberry slash raspberry, can't really quite remember, yogurt, and then some fruit. And I had a coffee with it too, and some water. So this was, oh man, I ate this up. Like, I was thinking to myself, dude, like if I could have this for every single like meal, you know, like skip this and just have more of this, I would do it. It probably wouldn't be the most healthiest thing, but oh, it was so nice. It was really good. Like, more of that. And then yeah, my flight ended up being then and done, and landed in Adelaide nice and smoothly. Went through customs and whatever else, picked up the bags. That was all nice and smooth. And then met up with my brother, and he drove me home. Like, you know, what a champ. He picked me up and dropped me off, and then he picked me up and dropped me off again. So very thankful for that. And then when we got home, I was greeted outside on my patio. We must have had a bit of wind throughout the month that I was gone, because these are all like grass seed, little roly-poly weed things. And just outside onto my patio, just a whole congregation of these grass seed things that just like built up over the time that I was gone. That like managed to come in, because like the wind kind of comes in from like past these chairs. They kind of come in and it like funnels in. It goes like around the home and then like gets funneled into here. I took a photo of it because I found it so funny. Like I just like saw it when I first got in and I'm like, what the heck is this? that was funny. But yeah, when we got to my house, my brother was like, oh man, are you like, do you got any food? Like, are you you know, I'm kind of hungry. And I'm like, well, I was only going to have like some like 2-minute noodles or whatever. And then I was, you know, going to probably go to bed or whatever because I'm pretty tired. And he's like, nah, let's get some pizza. So we ended up ordering Domino's. We ordered like 3 pizzas and 2 garlic breads and a drink. We just got like we got a pepperoni to split with each other, and we got a meatosaurus each. So we just ended up having that. That was that was a good meal. Getting home after plane food and stuff. As much as like the plane food was good, that was a good meal. But yeah, that was my big Dokomi trip. And then I laid out everything the next day and took this photo and stuff like that. But yeah, that was pretty much my Germany trip. So the big factor things was obviously like the first week I did as do good offenders time. Oh yeah, there is an ad break currently. Rip bozo. The big factor was for my German trip was like the big highlights or whatever was the Dokomi for real, and also visiting some of these like cities and seeing the old history and stuff like that. I think like I always say like, oh, I need to take more photos, but I never end up taking like more photos and stuff like that. Like I will definitely do Germany again. Who knows, it might be 2027 where I do Germany again. Or it might be 2028. We'll sort of see how plans with Dokomi and stuff like that go ahead. You know, I would like to do it again for sure. I don't know if I can do it every single year. It is relatively expensive, especially because my currency is weaker than the euro. But you know what's money for? It's for having fun, and enjoying yourself. So yeah, definitely meeting a lot of the community members and stuff like that, and a lot of the friends and things that I've had the pleasure to communicate with, you know, over the past 2+ years, 2 to 3 years has definitely been very, very good. Yeah, but that's pretty much, you know, the shebang. That's everything. And now I'm back home where it's cold, wet, miserable, because it's, you know, winter time. So many people looked at me funny whenever you mentioned you're going. They looked at you funny. Who were you mentioning to that I was going? If they were looking at you funny, or do you mean that in just like the context? Like you were saying, you know, in chat or something like that. Oh yeah, Peg's going. Yeah, first like convention that I had gone to, and the first time to Europe/Germany. In the context, some people kept mentioning their lists. They wanted to meet. Okay, I see. Nice. Well, it was really cool seeing you, and mad respect for taking the long journey to Germany. Yeah, definitely is a long, you know, a day and a half to get over there, but it's definitely worth it. So. Oh yeah. No, it's definitely cool seeing those guys over there, for sure. There's like a downside of being, Australian, and that's because like that's the downside is you're very far away from these big cool events where a lot of people go to. So it's a lot more significant effort on my side to go out of my way to get over there, but it makes it all the more precious and worth it to do these things. So hopefully I have the privilege to be able to do more in the future, because I definitely will want to do more of these things. And next time I'll have to bring more stuff to give away to people. Yeah. And then we're back in Australia, and I'll try to stream some more. I landed Wednesday last week, and yesterday, the Monday, was my first day back to work. So today I worked as well, the Tuesday, and now I've got my middle of the weekend again, Wednesday and Thursday. So tomorrow I'll definitely, I think, stream tomorrow. Probably not as late. I think I'll start a little bit early. I'll try to get back into my normal 7:30 Australian Central Standard Time start times. And there's a lot of catch-up stuff I want to do. I want to watch the Summer Game Festival, which goes for 3 hours, but I think I'm going to speed skip through the talking parts and just watch the game trailers and stuff like that. And then look at some of the demos and stuff that have come out. There's there's what is it? Mortal Shell 2, the demo for that. Got a few other demos and stuff I want to play. And then there's Tainted Grail that I want to play as probably the returning sort of game. But we've also got something big coming up, and that's my debut, my model debut. The model is all done, and I've received it. It is absolutely amazing. I want to do a bit of a debut video thing for it. So I've been doing a little bit of amateur editing, I guess. I'll do some little teaser. I gotta figure out a date still. I think Friday's probably the best day for me, and then for everyone else, I think. Because Friday I can go a little bit later. So then for the European guys, it's a little bit more in the middle of the day / afternoon. And then I have the Saturday off, so I can go sort of further later. So I can start much later. But I think I'll probably do it maybe next week. So sometime at the start of July. If I can get the video sorted out with my weekend, then yeah. Steam Next Fest is going on, or was last week, so you got some extra demos to consider. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I gotta catch up on all of those little things and stuff like that. Did it take you long to adjust being back in the country? Fairly tired when you came back, after all? Yeah, so I think I've still had a little bit of jet lag here and there compared to going over. Going over, I feel was a breeze. Coming back has been a lot more significantly difficult. Like it's, been nearly a full week since I've been back. And like I've been going to bed at 8:30, 9:30 p.m. And I've been waking up at like 1 or 2 a.m. I haven't been getting the full night's rest. I've been waking up much earlier, like particularly for Monday and today. Both days, my alarm is set for 4 a.m. I go to bed at 8, or try to go to bed at 8. Just because like I wanted to get much more rest. Kind of why I haven't been like straight away getting back into streaming. Because I was like very lethargic and tired and whatever else and exhausted. But I think over the next couple of days, like I think I'll probably be back to regular normal, I would say. So then I can start doing those regular stream start times. And I think I'm gonna stop playing World of Warcraft. Like over the holidays that I had, obviously I wasn't playing any games. I still haven't actually played any games since I've been back for a week. But I want to kind of like start getting back into playing games. Yeah, I think I don't think I'm gonna stop playing WoW completely, but I think I'm gonna stop like hardcore raiding, which will allow me to do more other things, I would say. So instead of having to like, invest, a month or sometimes even 2 months of, several days a week, like 12 hours a week or sometimes 16 hours a week, or technically actually even longer because that's just like pure raiding time. I'll be able to instead spend that time and spend that energy elsewhere with streaming. Like I enjoy raiding, but sometimes like it's just a little too much and the timing doesn't help too much with particularly with like my early work schedule and stuff like that. So I think for my like future, it's a little bit probably better that I don't go into hardcore raiding. But I think I'm like humming and hawing. I think I'll still like play WoW and I'll still raid with the guild, but it'll just be like for the heroic runs or like whatever. It won't be for the progression. But I gotta speak to them about that and see what we want to do. Because I'm glad you took your time for it. It's not just a small adjustment. I think it was a reasonable option to rest up probably. Yeah, but I think I could have probably communicated that a little bit more. I know like over the holidays, obviously like communicating between Discord, I wasn't doing anything, but I kind of got to get back into utilizing Discord a bit more, I would say. But yeah, no more Mythic Prog. Yeah, for now, I think taking a step back from it is probably a more optimal idea. But yeah, the next big thing, which will be soon-ish, TM, will be the model debut. And there's some big things with that. I've got basically, all my OBS scenes, I think, set up for that. I got some classic slides, debut slides for that. Obviously, a model to show with the toggles and things. And then there's some extra stuff as well to show. Ooh. Easy to burn out on progression raids. No matter the game. Because sometimes take a step back. I mean, yeah, like I've been doing it for ages. I've been doing it for like 8+ years solid now, I would say. Maybe even longer. Can't quite remember. when I first started. Like in terms of when I like first like was like, okay, yeah, hardcore like raiding and, you know, top 50 kind of thing, you know, in the world. But that's because like I enjoy the game, right? Still. Even though sometimes you might say, man, this game is so shit, it's kind of like, it's like what people say when they play League, you know? When they play League of Legends, they're like, man, this game is fucking shit, but then they continue to play it. It's kind of like similar with WoW. You're like, fucking hell, what are these developers doing to my game? They're making it so shit to play, but then you still play it or whatever, you know? But yeah. Having burnt out is impressive in itself. Every time I lose in the league, this game is so shit, then you go for another one. Yeah, exactly. You can't like stop on a loss. Yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to talk about today. I think tomorrow we'll go through the Summer Game Fest. We'll sort of skim through it. I know that there was the Nintendo Direct, but I'm not really interested in Nintendo stuff. So I won't worry about that. So we'll probably just do the Summer Game Fest and maybe we look at Steam, like, demo things. Oh, like, speaking of Steam, the Steam machine was announced for its price. It's very expensive. Fuck AI for making shit more expensive. And also, like, the Steam Deck price rose by, like, $500 for me. It was like, I think it was like 1,000 Australian when I left. And then I saw an email, like, saying, oh, we're raising the prices. And I'm like, damn. Because I was, like, kind of, like, thinking of getting a Steam Deck. But they rose the prices by like $500, and now like $1,500 for a handheld device is like, ugh. Even though it would kind of be cool, like, hey, if I travel to Germany more, hey, having a device where I can play some games on or something like that would be pretty cool, especially if you've got internet on those really long flights. But I mean, I survived regardless with just my phone and internet, and even when I didn't have internet, you know, still had my phone. But yeah, Moyo, thank you for the follow, welcome in. But yeah, I think that's me for today. Tomorrow we will come back again a little bit earlier, and we'll watch the Summer Game Festival, skip through it, kind of summarize, and then look at maybe some games, but we'll kind of see how it is. So far, I think everything for my for the stream stuff has all been okay. 'Cause I wasn't too sure if things broke while I was gone. Same time, Switch is likely a better choice considering the raised price. Most games people play on Steam Deck. I won the one. Switch library, okay, I'm good. Yeah. Kinda. I play a lot of indie titles, so a lot of those indie titles aren't actually on Switch too. Like, I'm not really into handheld AAA games, you know, I'm not gonna go play Skyrim or Cyberpunk or whatever. More so with the indie titles and things like that. But yeah. It's expensive tech. And I would rather save that money for another trip to Germany or whatever. Next year, potentially. or the year after. We kind of see how it goes, but it's a very long time away. So yeah. But we can get back into the usual things you do when you're finishing up your stream. We're gonna go raid someone. And this person's very cool. They have also returned from their holiday. And they had very cool celebrations and things. I think they're also going through some of the recap stuff as well. We're gonna go raid Jabby. So very happy to hear from you. Thank you for catching us up on your trip. No problem. Hopefully next time I take a trip, I can remember to get in that, quote, content creation mode. LMAO, content creation. That's not me. And take more photos. And talk more about the actual trip itself. Like, I think I talked a decent amount about Dokomi, but for my actual trip to Germany, I didn't really talk too much. You know, all I literally said was, hey, you got some really cool architecture. I'll have to consciously make the effort to be like, okay, this is a cool thing to show on stream. Let me take a photo of it and maybe do like dot point things. I think Bees, oh my god, Bees does a really good job with that. He's been talking about his trips and stuff like that really well. I should have a chat with him to see how he manages it. But yeah. Anyway, thanks guys. See you guys tomorrow for some more shenanigans. Appreciate it all the follow and the resubs and stuff. Thank you guys so much. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.